Okay, so I'm Goran Vujic and I coming from Southeast Europe, and we will now start with historical session in GMI. You know why it's historical? As you heard, the GMI is already 20 years. And last 20 years, the people, the family, GMI folks only saw my face from Southeast Europe. And finally, after all these 20 years, now I'm happy to introduce you with all these clever and nice guys from Southeast Europe. And all of you, you will find that Southeast Europe is not me. And this is very good company and very good guys. So because that is historical. So what we have now, it's my pleasure to introduce you with first on my list is Mira Radenović-Bojić. She is the member of the city government of Novi Sad, and this is our star in the GMI activity in Southeast Europe because we make a very good composting facility and we are proud with this. Then here is the Christina. Oh my God, 20 years is already too much, so I must use my glasses. Christina, sorry. Christina is Deputy Minister of North Macedonia, and also very important, the North Macedonia is the new country member of GMI, and they joined to GMI just last month, or I don't know. So thank you, Christina, to join us, and we are very happy that you join also as a country. Of course, then is the most important member of our group is the Professor Aleksandar Anić-Vučinić from European Union. This is the only country in Southeast Europe now which belong to European Union. Just occasionally she is from Croatia, but it's good. Then, yeah. And then finally, last but not least, it's Mr. Veselin Šturanović, also the new member of the GMI family, Montenegro, and he coming from NGO part and very active in the many projects what we start in Montenegro. And sorry, I forgot our friend Dusan. Dusan is also from Novi Sad, from Center of Excellence, and he will present what we're doing here. And also, I must say thank you to Hussein if he is still with us, because also to Hussein and Environmental and Climate Change Canada, because all of us come because we have very good project with the Canadian agency, and during this project we find also good opportunity to present what's happening in Southeast Europe, but also to discuss about our project and next project, what is coming. So, finally, it's your time. Thank you. Yeah. So for the slides, thank you. So first on the list is Mira. So Mira, can you just to explain from the beginning, we prepared that we have small presentation and then discussion after that. But really, I think it's better that we heard South Latin presentation, our presentation, and then start discussion after all these things. So please, Mira, floor is yours.
Thank you, Goran. Thank you. Good day to all of you, and thank you, Chairman, of course, for inviting the Novi Sad to present what we are doing in our part of the Southeast Europe. Also, thank you for the organizers for the GMI to welcome us here. So I will start briefly to introduce you who we are, what we are doing in the Novi Sad. We are actually the second largest city in the Serbia, so educational, economic, and cultural center of our autonomous province of Vojvodina. It's north part of the Serbia, and also that is the most productive agricultural region in Serbia. In total, Novi Sad is around 369 inhabitants, but we are also fastest growing local community in Serbia. We are also a university center, and we had been 2022 the capital of culture of Europe. Also 2019, the capital of youth. And we have now our next goal, it's to be a green capital of Europe. All this we achieved not being formally in European Union. So I think that's actually quite a big success for the city of Novi Sad. A little bit what are our quantity assessments of the production of the biodegradable waste in our region. Our region actually is maybe one of the biggest and the richest region in Serbia, as I mentioned, and agriculture, of course. The city of Novi Sad is one of the biggest. Then you have several municipalities here, what you could see, and the food leftovers actually are 66% of our biodegradable waste what we are producing. So it's quite big number. You could see this table. First one is total projected amount of general waste for our commercial facilities in Novi Sad. First is hotels and restaurants. Then we have our private entrepreneurs and private sector. Then we have facilities for education, and then we have public facilities and institutions. The table below is total projected morphological composition of the waste of all our commercial facilities in Novi Sad, and as you can see it, even still it is a big number. 33% of our waste from commercial facilities is actually biodegradable waste, so it's quite a number actually. So in Novi Sad, we are in the final stage of preparing and formalizing our regional waste management center. So we are now in public procurement, actually for constructing. We are having support from the European Union, from the IPA fund, in amount of 40 million euro and state budget of around 60 million euro for designing and building this waste management center. So it's a second largest waste management center in Serbia. Also, what we done is to design this center to have fabric of MBT facility, which is the first one in our southeast, this kind of our Southeast Europe, and also with biogas facility for collecting and producing electricity for our own needs. So we think that's actually very important for all our community. And of course, what we did is how we meant it to that should be done properly. We needed to introduce our people with different way of collecting solid waste. So we prepare for them dry and the wet bin, and also we introduce them with the third bin, with bio-waste bin, which is a little bit complicated when you look in Serbia, because in the meantime we didn't have any kind of different waste collecting methods, just all together. So sorry about that. I'm a little bit with my hands. So that's actually different, and we needed to create a habit in our with our people to be to actually become this project successful. So we have dry bin, wet bin, and also the bio waste bin, and we introduced our people with special different way of collecting the dry bin. Like we have containers for just for glass, and also just for the PET or plastic. And these days we are getting in our system the third one for the paper only. So it's a lot of things that we are actually doing these days in Novi Sad. Also, what we did already in our regional center with help of our partners, actually GIZ Serbia and also USIPA helped us very much to design and build our composting plan. Actually, we are treating in this composting plan about around 5,000 tons of green waste, which are collected from the public green areas from the city of Novi Sad. And monthly, that actually means that we are making compost from around 417 tons a month at least. That's actually very important fabric for us because we introduce our inhabitants in Novi Sad, but in all our region, with circular economy and with principle of the circular economy. So we think that actually huge success, and of course we are grateful for our partners. Again, to mention GIZ and USIPA for making us proud in doing that. More or less, I think I will finish with my presentation. And if you have any questions for me, I will be glad to answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Mira. And now I will ask Ms. Kristina Ojaklievska. It's, as I said, the Deputy Minister of Ministry of Environment and Physical Planning in North Macedonia. So, Kristina, the floor is yours. So, please.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, distinguished scientists and experts, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here in Geneva again. A special honor to attend the Global Methane Forum 2024. Facing the climate change today, we are searching for new ways to meet the challenges at hand and mitigate the potential climate effects in the future, because we are all aware that any delay of climate actions will be at great cost on human health and our security as well. So, Republic of North Macedonia, we have adopted the long-term strategy on climate action and action plan, setting the reduction target of greenhouse gases emissions to 72% by 2050 compared to 1990 levels. The Republic of North Macedonia has enhanced nationally determined contribution, aiming to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 51% by 2030. Also, we have applied to join the Global Methane Pledge Initiative, and our request has been approved. Yet we are still working to fulfill some other obligations that has been asked from us. On this slide, I have shown the contribution of the main sectors in our country to the greenhouse gas emissions, and the contribution of methane to these emissions is approximately 14.41%. Greatest percent of the emissions of methane are coming from the waste management sector. That's why sustainable waste management plays important role in control of the methane emissions in the atmosphere. The sustainable agricultural practices and the green transition to renewable energies are leading us to reduce greenhouse gas emissions as well. In our country, we still have a great issue with the non-compliant landfills, and we have planned construction on the regional landfills and closure of the non-compliant landfills. And upgrading the current regional landfill in Skopje region. Also, there are initiated activities for construction of biogas plants in 4 regions across the state. As we are all aware, climate change is a result of interplay of multiple causes and consequences. The primary cause being in an imbalance in the greenhouse gases emitted into the atmosphere, which triggers a systematic and cyclic shift in normal atmospherical processes, which are resulting in changes in global weather patterns. All we have to do is control the greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere so we could protect and secure ourselves from unpredicted weather patterns in the future. I would like to thank you, to wish you a fruitful discussion, and thank you for the invitation to attend such a great event. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. And now I invite my colleague from Zagreb University, and also um, Alexandra is also president of Croatian Association for Solid Waste Management, what is the member of the ISFA, and very big, if I can say, activity in Croatia and also in neighboring countries. So please, Alexandra, tell us what your presentation. So thank you.
Hello to everyone. Okay. Thank you, Goran, for these nice words. Usually he says something different, but I don't know what's going on with him now. He's so sweet. Okay, thank you once again. I will buy you a drink later for these words. So since he told me that I have to tell everything in 5 minutes, I have to start. I like to talk a lot, but now I will be short. So for those who, since this is an international conference, for those who doesn't know, Croatia is across the boot in Europe. That means across the Italy, because they always ask me, where are you? Are you in Russia or something like that? So here is the map. You can see where we are. We are very small, very tiny country, 3.8 million inhabitants. Our main characteristic beside this shape is more than 1,000 islands, which is nice if you are talk about the nature, but if you are talk about waste collection, that it is a quite big problem. We are 11 years members of EU, and before we start to talk about methane and waste, if you read first Waste Framework Directive, the beginning, these tiny letters, then they say in that EU directive that the methane is the main problem, that why they are putting in force these directives. So when we started to negotiate for EU membership, we supposed to say what issues about methane we have, and to we said we had to set up the target. So we harmonized our legislation. Today we have 1.8 million tons of municipal solid waste. Of course, we are a touristic country due to the coast and these islands I talked about. That is, from the waste point of view, a very big problem. We have more than 10% of waste comes from tourism. What is very good from the starting point, that means when we, in 2006, when we start to negotiate with the EU, till now we have 99.5% of coverage with the municipal service. And in 2022, we had 46% of separate collection. EU is very strict, and if you don't fulfill your targets, you will get the penalties. So I hope in 2023 we will fulfill the 50% of separate collection, which is very good. But after you make separate collections, new problems are coming. But this is the infrastructure, because if you collect it, you have to treat it. And then we have another problem. In 2006, when we started to negotiate, we had more than 600 dump sites. I did some calculation in 2006. These 600 dump sites contributed with 6% of overall methane that was produced on the area of Republic of Croatia. Right now, in 2024, we have only 80 landfills that are operating. They are partially controlled with methane emissions. That means in some we have a passive biogas treatment or active flares, or in some of them there are electricity production, but it is not so good. I would say half of them is controlled. In this period, we built 4 waste management centers for mixed waste. We have introduced from 2006 extended producer responsibility. You heard about that, special waste streams. So we have rather good systems, and we fulfilled the targets for waste tires, cars. VEE packaging is not so, but we are going on. What we don't have in whole Croatia, we have only 13 waste sorting plants. 9 is public and 4 are private. And we have 15 composting plants, but they are very, I would say, primitive. Only the windrow composting. So this is with very small capacities. It is around 5,000 tons per each, which is nothing, up to 20,000. It is not sufficient for the amounts of waste that we are collecting now, especially bio-waste. We have 16 biogas plants, but these biogas plants are not only for bio-waste. They are producing bio-waste from corn and other things, and we have rather good recycling plant system for some special waste categories. Here are some graphs that you can see what we succeed. Here is from 2015 till 2022. As you can see, this yellow is bio-waste separate collection. We are not growing up because we don't have infrastructure. So municipalities doesn't want to improve the amounts, to increase the amounts, because we don't have any place to go with that bio-waste, which is the problem. It is approximation that we have almost 500 tons of bio-waste still in municipal solid waste, which is rather big amount. Of course, in 2006, when we discussed with European Union what shall we do regarding bio-waste, then we claimed that we will achieve the goals, 30% of bio-waste that we on the number that we have in 1997. This is the red line, and this is the number, and these two blue and the orange one are where are we now. So we didn't succeed that because we don't have a big infrastructure. I don't know how it is in other countries, but our preparation and building of waste management centers that are able to treat mixed waste with bio-waste in Croatia is 8+ years, and it is very hard because it is public and there are lots of obstacles to build that. I would like to point out some other issues that are bothering me. I told you about the tourism. If you see this blue line is production of municipal solid waste per capita. This is an average, but if you see, we have counties, 20 counties, and these orange ones that are going up like more than 600 or 700 kilos per year. These are all touristic areas. So we have rather big differences within the country about waste production, about waste treatment and everything. And the other is just to show you what is the recycling rate in each county. If you see, the north is rather developed and we have good infrastructure, but if you go east or south, it is without any infrastructure. So this is the summary. For conclusion, I hope, Goran, I was short. So we still have lack of capacities for composting and biogas production. We have a problem for introduction because how to introduce separate collection at the coast because of high temperatures, a huge amount of people, and we also have at the coast there are mostly protected areas, cultural protection, and so we don't have. I put the picture of Dubrovnik. I hope you heard or know, but the street average wide of street is 2 meters. And there is no place for truck, for bins, for anything. So this is the problem, how to introduce separate collection. So what we are doing now, we are trying to cut the amounts of food waste production at the source. So there are several projects I can talk about later. And of course, I would point out the cost of separate collection and the treatment. This is also not affordable for most of the people in Croatia. And we have, of course, a problem about that. And education that is, according to my point of view, insufficient and should be better. So thank you, Goran. Is it okay?
Yeah, of course.
I was good. Thank you.
It's always nice. Thank you, Alexandra. And now it's Vesko Šturanović from Montenegro, and he will give also one presentation about situation in Montenegro. So Vesko, it's okay.
Yeah, it's funny that you all think that Goran is funny and we are terrified of him. I mean, I'll start immediately. I'm not sure if the presentation is going. Let's go to the yeah. So I'm coming from Montenegro, Southeast Europe, part of former Yugoslavia. The smallest country in there, 600 something population, 13,812 square kilometers, 24 municipalities. And if I can recall, in 1992, we were the first one who stated that we are ecological state. And usually we want to say that we are the first ecological state in the world, which, believe me, doesn't mean anything. And you will see by the numbers. I'm coming from the Force Montenegro. It's the Foundation for Development of Northern part of Montenegro. We are a spin-off of some USAID program that was in Montenegro before 20 years. After that, we remain doing the NGOs and the plenty of job in environment and the other issues that we have. But let's start with these figures that I said before. Okay. I come from a country that has solved the problem of waste disposal. And I really didn't understand why Goran asked us to come here, because when I hear these poor people that had the problem with the waste, I simply cannot believe. We have organized the systems to such an extent that we are starting to resemble the most organized country in Europe and in the world. In fact, we have become a model for all those who want to have an organized system in which everything works. So Switzerland, Germany, Austria, be aware.
I'm coming.
Does this really sound nice? Yeah. like a Star Wars, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That's it. Let's go further. So I'm coming from that organization. We try something. We are in this field for, let's say, 20 years, and when you want to start, you think where to start, what to do first, and when you have capacities and resources of national and local government on the very low level, when the level of awareness of our population is also low, do I need to even speak about utility company equipment and with what those people are working? It's actually something that we then need to do in all of these circumstances. And what we do as a foundation is doing these European funded projects and trying to do some things and at least to go one step further in this field. Citizens in our country are usually not sufficiently familiar with the problems and are not involved enough. Basically, we as NGOs, we are blowing our horns all day long. We have channels of communication. We care. We want to change for the better. And sometimes there is a so small thing that we can do. We realize the citizens are reluctant even to publicly report to violators, to the people who are actually wasting, putting that waste where they want. And what we could do in these terms, we actually published these mobile application in which, of course, this project was financed by the European Union, in which you, by the 2-click, can make a picture and send the information to the all municipal system in which in that very moment 6 different authority the people who are need to deal with the problem has information, and we wanted to solve this problem in 24 or 48 hours. This is something like a pilot. We are doing it in last year, and we will see how it will go. This is small, but I'm not sure that you are going to see these figures, but I will tell you about them, so you will know. This is waste management plan in waste disposal in 2022. So out of total 292,000 of tons, only 163 are actually disposed in the landfills, in the landfills that are did in accordance to the law, and they are real landfills. Why I'm saying that? Because the other 130,000 are actually going on the illegal dam sites, or they put it in the temporary sites, meaning that in one time they will be part of these. That it will be disposed in the landfills, but nobody believes that. So to give you further figures, I start counting. So in until 1950 to 2000, for 50 years, we illegally disposed, put on our rivers, on our mountains, wherever, more than 10 million of tons. In the last 20 years, until we have these 2 official landfills, it was less. It was only 2.5 million. So in total, we have somewhere around our ecological state 12,500,000 ton of waste. So what to tell you? It will be. I will finish here, Goran, and then we will try to discuss further, maybe in our discussion. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Vesko. And before we start with Dusan, who will going to present you something, if I remember from the project of environment and climate change Canada, but also something from Bosnia. Maybe is something what we heard here, just to stress you to because this is very important, and also what we talk with Monica and Matt when we organize this session. And if you heard, all our speakers talk about small country, about small city, of course the big problem, but this is, I think, even probably you don't know, the Southeast Europe is more than 80 million citizens, the 11 countries. Of course, we are very close or in European Union, but most of us are not in European Union. And when we talk about global situation, for us, it's very tough to come to your and to talk to that you see us and to help us, not only help and talk with us, because always we have the problem that the small number, if you saw in Novi Sad, is only 5,000 green waste what we make composting. This is nothing when we compare in comparison with big city, but is so big and so important for us. And this is what I want, and also all of us, that you hear us and that see that we still have it's quite big problem, also some good solution, but it's very hard for us from Southeast Europe to reach all of you and talk about situation in our countries. So Dusan, now it's the youngest, almost PhD finish. Yeah, I think next month. Not youngest.
No, I'm not the youngest.
Oh, sorry, but you look sorry. Yeah, it's also I must apologize. In the preparing of the session, we have also our friend from Bosnia to come, but because the problems, they are not some big problems, but they are not finally join us. But definitely, I don't know, Dusan, do you have time for this? But our first activity, what our center done is the infrared heating on the landfill in Bosnia, done by EPA on that time. And I don't know, Dusan, do you have time to talk about this or only about new project?
Yeah, I think we can find
okay
time.
So Dusan, please, the floor is yours, so you have time to okay.
First, I want to mention I didn't prepare any numbers for Bosnia and Serbia, but basically whatever you heard from the speakers before me, situation applies as well in Bosnia as in Serbia. It's just different numbers, but everything else is the same issue, same problems, apart from Croatia, which is already in EU, but that's something that we are all going towards to, where we will be one day. But second of all, actually, I want to thank the organizers for facilitating this session, but also very important part why we are here today is also this project titled Methane Emission Reductions in Southeast Europe Waste Sector through Application of GMI Resources, funded by Environment and Climate Change Canada. And this project will last for 2 years. It started, well, actually, we're now halfway. It started about a year ago, and the whole idea actually involved about the fact that basically there's a language barrier in our region when we are talking about application of, let's say, GMI resources that Monica discussed in the beginning. So we started discussing how can we change that, how can we get more people involved in the region, and more of them, actually more stakeholders, having an opportunity to implement just at least a part of the resources. So the first thing we did is actually collected all the major information from the GMI website, translated into Serbian, and made them part of the Center of Excellence for Circular Economy and Climate Change website. It's available there in Serbian language, and that's the language that's understandable basically in the entire Southeast European region. And as a result of that, maybe just one of the consequences is that we have now Montenegro and North Macedonia as members of GMI. So that was the first thing we did. Then we started translating some of the resources, mainly the most popular one, the sweet solid waste emission estimation tool, and also we did a landfill gas screening tool because we think those two are maybe the most relevant in our region. And of course, I forgot to mention very important thing that GMI has been engaged in Southeast Europe for over a decade now. We've done many pre-feasibility studies in the entire region. We organized, I don't even know how many workshops. We did that, as Goran mentioned, the demonstration facility in Bosnia and Herzegovina, where we had the chance to show everyone, to showcase actually what can be done with the utilization of landfill gas. This is a very small project, but it's valuable for anyone who never saw that landfills can be used for something other than just dropping their disposing the waste. That you can actually produce some sort of energy on a low level. But yeah, it's a really good thing to showcase. So we organized a number of study trips at Bijeljina landfill, where people had the opportunity to see how this all works. It's actually still working. I think it's been over 10 years that it's been installed there and still works, still heats their offices at the landfill site. So we translated these two tools and made them available on our website, and they are also available together with English and Spanish version. When I'm talking about Suite, it's also available on the GMI website. Okay, so other project activities within this project is, once we did the translation, we wanted to train the trainers. That's the workshop that's already been organized. So we invited around representatives of around 15 municipalities for 5 Southeast European countries to Novi Sad, and we showed them how these tools work, how they operate. And once they heard about it, we asked them to collect data from their municipalities, and during the second workshop they will have the opportunity to use the suite themselves and implement them with our help and the help of other experts in bio-waste sector as well. And that will also the outputs of that second workshop we will use to develop the study of potential emission reductions in the Southeast Europe sector, together with all the other treatment options and well, actually we will quantify current emissions and potential emission reductions in case some of the treatment options are applied. But this time for the entire Southeast European region, we did that for certain municipalities or even countries, but we never did that for the entire region. So this will be let's say a major output of the project. We are also supposed to organize the study tour for the stakeholders, mainly landfill operators and municipality representatives who are in charge of the waste management system. I already said that we are going to develop the study, and at the end, we expect to have this big international conference by the end of the next year, or actually by the end of this year, where we will present all the results, and we will have experts from international experts from bio-waste and waste management sector present all the good practices in the region. So I guess we will invite most of the people that are here at least to attend, or some of them even to present. So that was briefly the presentation of the project, but we can answer some questions if you have any later on.
Yeah, thank you, Dusan. Yeah. Just a little bit to add to Dusan, it's very important also that after 15 years of working and preparing English study on this thing, finally we find that we need translation on the language what our operators working. Why? It's very interesting that if you do the interview, even if you make the workshop on the English, usually in our country is a common language on the workshops, the landfill operators always say, "Oh, no, I know English, I understand, usually they not talk English, but no one don't tell. And then we thought, okay, this is good. So we gave them many tools, many study on the English, until we recognize they don't know English. But it's not, for them, it's not fancy to say, oh, sorry, I don't know English, can you translate? So, but this is definitely the status in most of our countries. Of course, I don't, but in my countries, definitely. And then we talk with the GMI and especially with Matt, and then we propose this and we translate all tools what Dusan mentioned. Also, we have one also tools for the landfill guidelines from ISFA. Yeah, the Aditi knows that. Yeah, also I think the Marcelo is here. We tried and to make the on Spanish with Center of Excellence in Argentina, and also in Center of Excellence in Southeast Europe. And also we find that is in the Latin America is very similar situation. The people say, no, I understand, I completely know, but they not use it. And now I think this is very important. Just I want to tell you to check your operators. If they tell you that they know English, please check something, and maybe it's better to invest a little bit money to translate on your language, and I think it will be better. So, okay, about this. So, Monica, what you propose? We have 15 minutes still. So, we agree that we will not make now all discussion. We will wait for the Latin American session after the coffee break. But until now, we have 15 minutes just to stress something from all of you, the main point from your presentation, what maybe I hurry you, so you must finish. So if you have something, maybe what will be the most message what you want to tell the guys here, or maybe main problem, or Mira, we heard that you start with this small composting plant, but now is the big mechanical biological treatment, 100 millions, what is coming. So how you see the this small project what we done firstly, and now after that it's come this one big what going to solve the definitely problem in Novi Sad. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Goran, for your question. Well, as I said, as my colleague said before and after me, the situation in our region more or less is the same, and it's quite difficult regarding the environmental protection, especially waste management. Why? Because we didn't do anything in a decade, and everything it's on basic level. So to start to go with the technology developments and with the new techniques and with all what the tools that we could use, we first needed to have step by step and some of the projects done. So to actually present it with those kind of projects, you actually will gain some benefits, not just for environment, which is the most important thing, but also for the local community. With our project, we did it actually very good and successfully. We finished our small composting plant, but today we finish also a second phase of this plant. So we will add more capacity to it. And also we prepare all the documentation and successfully and get funds for the new waste management center, which is 100 million euros. And that's actually the second biggest this kind of facility in Serbia. And I think the good ways actually are starting with the small steps. So that's basically
Thank you, Mira. And one more question, Monica. It's online. One I not understand properly, but second one I understand. And is the question is why you decide to go to bio drying, not to anaerobic digestion on the mechanical biological treatment?
We have one part of bio drying and one part of anaerobic digestion. We are separating these two things. Only the food waste are going to the digestion to produce biogas. And everything else, which is biodegradable, is going to biodrying and then to RDF. That's it.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, because I didn't explain more about the facility, but I didn't think that that's actually. I thought it's too little time to do it. So
Okay.
sorry about it.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, thank you, Mira. And Christina, when we see also your country, it's have the big support from European Union to help you to reach the European goals and also to improve your waste management. And can you tell us what is maybe the main problems what you face in your country, or how you see what is going to be the best in the future in cooperation with another and also European Union? So please.
Thank you on your question. In the future, I think that we should create our policies based on scientific data. So I think that sustainable political solutions must listen to science and experts in the field. If you are asking me what should we do next in the next period, I think that facing the climate changes and feeling the consequences of it in many parts of the world, and also the environmental issues in every sphere, I think we should invest in education of our children, and also having in mind that the green transition has already started. I think we shouldn't forget people who are working in the brown economy. They should be co-educated and accept the new jobs there on the market. So another point that something else I should point out is that in the future we must have interdisciplinary approach and no priority, because when we come to the protection of the environment and climate changes issues, usually in every sectors, what are they doing? The consequences are on the environment. That's why I think that second priority of every ministry should be protection of the environment and climate change. That's why I think we should act all together so we can see the change in nearest future. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. It's Alexandra. It's definitely the Croatia leading with the MBT facility in our region, but also we saw that still you have at least, if I remember, 80 landfill what is existing on the Croatia. So what is because you are many steps in front of rest, especially our countries. So what is your comment on this, that still landfilling existing and also MBT is okay or not? So this is maybe if you have time just to explain us what's happening.
Yes. When we start to negotiate in 2006, we were very brave, self-confident, and we said, no problem, whatever you say, we will do. Doesn't matter. But what we missed and what we didn't know is that even the money is not the problem, I would say. But I would say that the knowledge, maybe science, and the political will is the problem. The biggest obstacle, as I can see in Croatia, the biggest obstacle is that we have politicians that likes waste a lot. You know, in every campaign there is the waste, some promises about waste, and they heard somewhere, I don't know where, but that if you collect and recycle, everybody will be rich, and everybody will earn. You know, and then they are telling that to people, and then when they win the elections and they have to fulfill their promises, they're having a big problem, of course. And then they start something, they hit the wall, and then they go, and then another one is coming with the same promises. I think that the statement that waste management in general should be forbidden for the politicians. Forbidden. Really. I think this is the message, and as I can see, this is the main obstacle regarding the technologies.
We are in the place of United Nations. What
Yes,
is
I
the
know.
house
I'm
of the
sorry.
politicians? So please just stop
You
a
know,
little.
okay, but I would like just to say that this Southeast Europe, you know that we look like a stand-up comedy with Goran. If we fail in waste management, we have another job guaranteed. You are the proof. But I would like to say only for the technologies, we have 4 waste management centers, as I said. The two are with bioreactor technology. That means that we are drying in the process biodegradable matter. Then we are putting it on the landfill for 5 years, covering, and then initiating methane production for next 5 years for the electricity controlled methane production. And the second, the last two are regular MBT with bio drying and RDF production. Of course, we are producing RDF, but we don't have an incineration plant. It's very funny. You know, but we are continuously producing RDF. You can ask me later why. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting that you don't have incineration
Yes,
plant. Yeah.
we don't have it.
So
Okay.
in Belgrade you have, in Serbia you have it.
Yeah, yeah.
Be proud.
We will export
yeah.
to them. You know,
So
our
thank-
idea.
Okay. Thank you. It's now it's we have time for Vesco and Dusan. If you have something to add to your presentation, and it's very interesting that in the numbers what you show us, that is still the big quantity of the waste going to the landfill and even wild dump, but also because we cooperate in the new EU project, it's still even the new facility coming. If I remember, there's still some big percent is going, it's continued to going to the landfill. And maybe you can comment this, what's happening and how you see this situation in your country, Vesco, please.
Of course, plan for our government is that order to improve waste management in Montenegro, 4 center for waste management. So basically, out of 24 municipalities, it will be 4 centers in which number of municipalities will be able to dispose that waste there. And even if it's kept in a way how they want and how they plan it, we will have the problem with all remaining waste for last 50 or 100 years. So somebody need to take care of it to see what is going to be with that. For example, in my municipality, which is Nikšić, 70,000 people, back in 2003, we established the temporary landfill for only 3 years. That was happening in 2003. And now it's 2024. We still dump the waste on that temporary waste. So we had a huge problem with that, and Professor saw it. So we need to take care of what we did in last 50, but also hundreds of years, and that's something that we will. It will be challenging for all of us.
Thank you, Vesko. And finally, Dusan, can you add something from your experience during all these years with Center and what we done?
Yeah, well, I want to stress out, well, coming from educational sector, that education is also one of the huge obstacles in the waste management, starting from the main, like, basic points, collection of data from the municipal level. If you don't have accurate data, you cannot do planning well. That means you don't have accurate costs, you don't have capacities of facilities that you need to develop and construct. So starting from that, and then, okay, once you develop something and construct something, even if it's like, let's say, state-of-the-art technology or state-of-the-art system, who's going to operate, who's going to run? So you have to educate all the people involved in the waste management sector, and that is currently one of the main issues that we are facing in Southeast Europe. So even with the funds that Alexandra mentioned is easy to provide, we still need people who will be actively involved and educate. I mean,
Professional education.
Professional education, of course.
Yeah. Compactor driver for these guys, not for the
exactly. Yeah, for the people involved in the waste day-to-day operations.